Gary Gall, what's going on, my friend?
I'm just living the dream out here in Southern Cal, bro.
Oh my
Never thought
God.
I'd be here, but here we are.
It's crazy. I think the last time we would have seen each other's faces like this would have been in South Dakota.
South Dakota, and believe it or not, I think it was 2013,
Yeah,
June or July, and that was it. That was the year that our class all went their separate ways.
man, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, yeah, for those of you guys that don't know what we're talking about, we both graduated from Northern State University with our master's degree, and both I came from California, Gary came from New York, other side of the country, and boom, we we met in South Dakota.
Smack
The place.
right in the middle of it all, right in the middle of nothing.
It's so great, like yeah, and we were talking a little bit about that yesterday, just like like it I don't know exactly why or how things tend to work out, but it I've been so lucky to have spent time with around just like the most random people like that. I would never have you never expect to run across these people that will have like lifetime impacts on you, especially in the Midwest or in these other states that I never even expected to live in. And then you know we pick up a phone and we can pick it up right where we left off like nothing, and that's something I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, likewise, Josh. I think the journey is a great thing, and when you're in it, sometimes we take all that for granted and we constantly strive for the destination. That's what's the great thing about people like us, but it's a good thing to look back at the journey and think about everything that you just said. We're able to 2013 was what, 8-9 years ago now, and then we were able to just text a few times and say, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Oh, hey, I like your energy. I always have. Maybe let's get together and create something. And
Yeah,
here we are on
here we
a
are.
Thursday night at 7.
Yeah, and you're at the tail end of your day. You started bright and early and grind all day, and I'm the same way. I think that's something that was always it always drew me to you, and we could always get along with, because we always had that kind of that similarity where it's like, when I'm grinding, when I'm on, I'm on. Like I remember, just kind of thinking back over, our time in Aberdeen. It's like there would be some days you'd be like, yo, I can't do it. Like I'm not doing nothing. And it'd be like our downtime. So we'd be kind of, wilding out, doing whatever. And you're like, yo, I'm going to sleep at 7 p.m., bro. Like you guys don't get it. Like I'm going to bed at 7 p.m. and that's it. And you were just like, do it. Like there's no convincing Gary. It was just like, boom, I'm done.
I think that's always been something that I had. I mean, I wanted to go to the military out of college for medical reasons. Believe it or not, I actually couldn't go, but I just had that mindset. I always had what I would like to say a disciplined, consistent approach to everything. And that's been a great strength. You can see that now more than ever. And, between you and I picture it too. It's basically, who do you want by your side if you're taking on the impossible, or who do you want by your side if you're in a bar fight? Who do you want by your side when you're working and pushing your limits? And, I think we were both guys that wanted each other by the other one's side. And that's where we had that connection. And, that kind of work is, I don't want to say it's dying, but it's definitely a select few that get into that type of work. We're the people that are willing to do what a lot of others just are not willing to do. And that's what'll strive us toward a great thing.
Yeah, like it's dude, like so, like I was thinking about today. Like I'm just so like we're just a little crazy. Like people that are wired like that, they're a little crazy. They're a little off. Like I'm sitting there, like we got a ton of snow over the last couple of days. Like really pushing people inside, kind of messing up the road. So the kids I typically train throughout the day, that you know, we gotta take it easy because the roads are trash and things like that. So it's like I have a full day where I'm kind of like in this limbo where, you know, I'm doing some video, I'm doing some editing, like, you know, kind of little things. But, you know, I find myself like getting anxious, bro. Like, cause I'm not doing enough, I feel like. And it's just like, you know, as I had to take a second and like look at myself like, look, man, like give yourself a minute or give yourself a day. But you know, I have those like that tick in my head. I don't like being extremely comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I don't like like just being able to just rest and chill and not have something kind of in the back of my head like, yo, you could be doing this, you know. Like I always have that.
Josh, I'll go home. I'll go home tonight. I mean, I'll be pacing at times. You know, I mean, I love Teresa, and I'm sure she kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, is a bit on the other side of that to help you out. But my fiance, God love her. I mean, she's very patient. She is very calm, and I think you need someone like that when you're an individual like us. I cannot sit still.
Right.
You know, I cannot sit still because, like you're thinking, well, did I do enough? I can go do that. Oh, I still have to do this, and that. And, you know, you are a little crazy. You know, you are the person that's up early because you can't sleep. You are the person that's sitting out late because you don't want to sleep because you're into something. And, you know, that's a gift. I think a lot of times you have to monitor for yourself. You know, I do a lot of preaching about overworking or trying to work in these days besides actually working out. But you know, there's a lot of times, man, where you're just gonna have to go for it. You're gonna have to put that pedal to the metal and you're gonna have to push. I mean, we're in that kind of world. We're both in the service industry. You have your own business. I'm coming up in a startup business, and there's really not a lot of downtime. And there's not a lot of time to be comfortable. I got about 24 hours. Saturday afternoon into Sunday afternoon is a time where it's like, okay, we can be normal. Maybe we'll sit on the couch and watch a movie. No one will text me too much. That's like my time.
Yeah.
And you become very, very grateful for that while you're in the trenches like we are.
Yes, definitely. So let's kind of, you know, but because I feel myself, I'm like sweating right now. I'm like hyped up. Like I could go into this so hard, but I do want to take a second to like kind of let's go do a little backstory on you for sure and really kind of, you know, so like we already talked about, we went to Aberdeen, we went to Northern State University, got our master's degree. You were a GA for the strength and conditioning.
That's right.
You worked directly with the wrestlers, which, you know, that was obviously another thing that, you know, drew us together because, you know, we could kind of spitball on these things that you were doing and we were doing. And, but from Northern State University, you know, go about your journey that inevitably leads you to Southern California. Maybe just talk about kind of maybe some bullet points or some things that you know really led you to where you are right now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm going to go back a little bit more. Really, when I got out of college, I played college football, I played high school football, always into sports, of course, team environment. But when I get out of college, I thought I wanted to be on TV. I thought I wanted to be a sports broadcaster, a reporter, a radio person. I did that in college. And when I got into it, I just really didn't enjoy it very much. And I found the military as, you know, my new team. I wasn't in athletics anymore. So I trained relentlessly for the military, very, very hard. I wanted to go into the special forces. And due to scarring in my one eye, I actually can't get in. I was deemed ineligible.
Wow.
But through that closed door, right? One door closes, open another or pound another down, however you want to look at it. But another door opened. A lot of military recruiters came to me and said, hey, would you mind training our guys, our girls, get them ready for boot camp? I thought, okay, this is pretty neat. I enjoy this, and I could actually find a living off of this. So that's where I kind of found fitness first. And it started at sweeping the YMCA floors 2 nights a week in my hometown. That's literally where it started to where I am right now. And I spent about 1.5 years doing that, personal training, but then I knew I wanted to get to a new level, and I thought about being a strength coach. That's what led me to you. Northern State was actually the only school that gave me an opportunity to get in, gave me the GA apprenticeship, and let me go about my way. And then from there, you know, we met, we connected, had a good 2 years there. I almost stayed there for 3 years. And then when I got out, you know, I'll never forget, I didn't have a job at the moment, and I was still at Northern. I just remember talking to my mom, and she said, all right, well, when are you coming home? And I said, well, Mom, I'm not coming home. And she said, well, what do you mean? What are you going to do? You don't have any money. You don't have, I said, I know, but I'm in the field and I can't leave right now. I'll figure it out. By the way, I had no clue how I was going to figure it out. I just knew I'll figure it out. At least I'm here.
Yeah.
Mom was crying, all that good deal. But, you know, I made it through that. Finally ended up getting a job at New Paltz. It was called SUNY New Paltz.
Yep.
The State University of New York at New Paltz, if you want the long version. It was in upstate New York, and I spent almost 5 years there. And I was their strength coach. I worked all their programs for all their athletics. They didn't have the big teams, the wrestling teams, the football teams, and the ones that I craved for, but I was able to create a lot of great connections with those athletes that still exist today. So it was a great culture, a great program, and a great opportunity to influence young people. That's where I feel like I have a strong connection and bond. And when I was there, man, it goes back to everything, Josh. I mean, I hustled. I did that. I started doing high school gigs. I started personal training. This whole time I just started, it was about a 10-year process. I would always text and call a former football teammate who happened to be an owner of this gym. And we always would touch base, and he would always say, hey, I remember you. I remember your work ethic. If I ever have a chance to get you out here, I will. Now, for those of you listening, that's 10 years that took of a text, a chat. You know, a year would go by, a couple months would go by, but we always kept in touch. And then in February of 2018, I ended up here. And I've been here ever since. I've been able to grow a successful book of business, mostly training general population, you know, but we do get our share of high school, college athletes, professional athletes. So my spectrum's pretty broad right now. I would categorize myself a strength coach, of course, by heart, but more like the general contractor of fitness. I have to be ready every day to possibly train an NFL player to possibly training a pregnant mother. You know, that's just the broadness of the programming. But it's been a great journey. I think the points that I want to hammer home are it's a relentless journey that could wear you out. But I think some of the best advice that I give myself and I could give others is if you're really in it, just don't stop ever. And, you know, you'll find your way to wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
It's not over yet, by the way, for either one of us.
No, dude. Well, we're just getting started. Like, it's so much. And, you know, it kind of goes back to that, getting comfortable, being uncomfortable and craving that, that it would have been easy for you, right? Like to go back home and chill and, kind of like put things together and things like that. But you're like, no, like I'm in it. Like we're going to make it happen. Cause this is all I know right now. This is all I want right now. And I think like, if we can harness that, if we can, we would be, it would be a very lucrative business, that mindset, because, it's so easy to take the simple route. It's so easy to, just be comfortable and just do, just what's expected of you. But ain't nobody talking about those people. Like, and not that I'm this egomaniac or anything like that, but God damn it, dude, I want to leave a legacy, and that starts with, the hard work. It starts with those relationships that you're talking about, and being able to, go throughout a 10-year process and, just, create new ones at the same time as, maintaining, your other strong ones and pushing and at the whole time, like ever since like 2014, when I was down in Texas, coaching at Wayland Baptist, I ran across this guy. His name's Coit Cooper. He was a former Division I All-American wrestler. He's an author. He's a motivational speaker. This guy is phenomenal. But I got lucky. Like I ran across him on Twitter or something, and I shot him a message because I really liked the things that he was talking about and the things that he was like he was building his brand on. And I just was like, I kind of just told him that, and he was like, "Oh, you like that?" He's like, "I got a book coming out." He's like, "I'm looking, for people to kind of read it and go through." It's the book. It's called shit. I'm blanking on. I'll get the book. I'll get the name.
Yeah, just keep going, man. We'll get the.
But it's basically a step-by-step process on how to develop your brand, how to get your right self-talk going, get your right your daily habits, that ultimately reach your mega goals or mega dreams. Like, and it just goes through that. And I got to be in these kind of little groups that, we did the whole process together and we got to talk about it. And ever since then, and I've just been, just so grateful for every opportunity. That was one of the main things that he speaks about. And then I've just really been able to kind of fine tune, the ability to understand that relationships are what build everything. That's the foundation of everything. If you, are just burning through relationships, if you're just burning through, these people that are in your life and out of your life, in your life, out of your life. Like if you're just constantly having that turnover, it's going to be really, really hard to, when whatever, at the end of your life or at the end of your journey, it's going to be really hard to sit there and be happy in my eyes because you don't have anybody around. Like, I want, when all is said and done, to have, hundreds of people that I can look to and understand, and we can go back and talk about, the good old days, quote unquote, or, those times that we struggled together. Because, ever since I kind of started thinking like that, it's brought the right people into my life. Like it created a funnel for me. And, I'm much more particular about the time that I spend with people. I'm much more particular about the energy that I want in my life, that I want around my, around me during the day, because, that energy, rubs off on you and it's going to be who you are.
I think piggybacking off of that is what they've told me here, our two owners, Kevin and Greg. One of the biggest things I took away is your net worth is your network.
Yes.
It's one of the best phrases you could ever remember. And it goes back to exactly what Josh just said is, I spend hours on my phone reaching out to people, especially during the pandemic, during COVID. And it's not even about reaching out to, hey, come train. It's sending an article, asking how you're doing, sending a different routine or program, just because I have this energy and I want to give it to you. And if you want it and you're receptive and you ask for more, that makes me more excited. Now I'm going to give you more. Mm-hmm. Right. And then there's a connection. And I think, look, overall, this is all a grind. This all takes an extreme amount of energy. This all takes an extreme amount of time. Two of the most delicate things really out there. But it brings the right people into your life. And then when you can reprogram your thinking, I think you were touching on that too, is, when you reprogram things and you eliminate your excuses or you eliminate your complaints and you just kind of step back and realize the world is okay. You know, what just happened is my reaction. So now I'm stressed. And that sounds really easy. You know, when we get in that situation, things are a lot different. But when you reprogram yourself, things do just start to flow toward you. And then you just start to attract. And then people start to remember. I think my biggest thing is, I think a lot of people think I'm like a fly that buzzes around them a lot of times. They're like, God damn, Gary texted me again. Like, Gary, I got it. You sent me 11 texts, right? You know, but okay, Gary, like we'll come, maybe I'll come see you. Yeah. You seem persistent enough at the least, you know?
Yep.
So it's like, okay, you run into a wall in life. Do I try to find a way around it? How could I build a ladder? A lot of times I'm just like, hey, I'm just going to hit this wall until it cracks. And I don't know how long that's going to take, but I'll be here. I try to keep things simple.
Yeah. One way, just forward, baby.
One way, forward.
Just going forward. No, I love that. And, you know, it's the you know, the thing that, you know, really drives me too. And it just like, it's come more and more over the last, like, you know, probably 5-6 years is the importance of, you know, passing those things along. And, you know, now I'm a father. It's a little bit, you know, more, it hits me a little bit harder too. But even before, when I was just, you know, coaching, and I had, you know, we had kids living with us on campus, and, you know, really just trying to pass that exact mindset on. It's like, dude, like, you're going to get told no. You're going to get told you're not good enough. You're going to have, you know, major setbacks, but there's what's the choice? You don't have any alternatives. It's go or it's freaking quit, basically, you know. And yeah, there's, you know, there's a time and a place, I guess, to, you know, make maneuvers or make, you know, hard choices. But dang it, if we can get the kids, you know, and the people around us to think like that and push, I think we're doing, you know, we're doing a huge service, you know, to, you know, unfortunately, a lot of this generation is not coming up under the most, you know, the people that are holding them accountable, people that are challenging them enough. You know, I want people to be challenged and to feel like they have to struggle, you know, because there's only one way to figure out how to get tougher from that. It's only one way to figure out how to get through that, is to actually do it.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. I mean, I couldn't agree more with that. You know, when I had that, I don't know if it's just because of the amount of attention that I paid on to things, but I had that early in my career. I was always about some sort of standard, but it was always kind of regurgitated of, oh, this is just how it's supposed to be, so you're going to do it. I don't think I presented a why well enough like you just did. And I'm just getting into that point as, you know, I got into it later in the years at New Paltz, but now as we grow as a business and I have people underneath me that I have to mentor and show and talk about details, you know, you realize, you think to yourself, oh, well, you know, let's move the ego aside. It's actually not about me, but I actually do have a decent amount of skills that I can show you. And if you're willing to listen, you're going to be ahead of a lot of people for that reason. I mean, the life on social media is a highlight reel. You know, now people can make so much money by sitting on their couch and putting up a post. That's great. That's just not me. I mean, I'd be chasing my tail around the couch posting that. You know, I got to be in the trenches somewhere doing things at a very high level to feel accomplished throughout that day. And it goes back to everything we just said of just putting your head down and going to work and taking responsibility. You know, I listen to a lot of Jocko Willink. It starts with you. right? If something went awry somewhere down the line and you were a part of that, it's a step back to think, all right, well, what could have I done? How could have I made that better, right? Or is it whatever it may be? But I agree with that. I think this is a skill set that unfortunately is going away. You know, people don't want to work anymore. They want to look for an easier option, and you know, they want to look for a safe option. You know, that's fine. There's a lot of that out there. But if you do want to listen to us and you do want to take advice from us, those options should have left your head a long time ago.
Completely. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's 100%, man. Like, you know, you moving your life out to the West Coast, and you know, me, you know, just, you know, me moved my wife and my son from South Dakota. We had a very, very nice life, very good job coaching, you know, at one of the best clubs in the country, and you know, bringing my family out here. Then pandemic hits. It's like, you know, there were times where it was like, you know, maybe I made the mistake, or maybe, you know, maybe we should, you know, figure something else out. And you know, there were real conversations about this, but inevitably I come back to that mindset, and I come back to that why, and that reason behind everything that I do is I want to be able to look back at my life and be proud of the legacy that I'm leaving behind. And I think, you know, it's not a matter of cash in hand. It's not a matter of the things, or you know, the things I can purchase, or the things I can give people. It's about, you know, the impact that I can have, and the lessons that I can leave behind, because ultimately that's what's going to go. Like all the other, you know, shit, you know, I'm not about that, the lavish lifestyle, you know. Things are things, but the way you make people feel, the way that you inspire somebody, or the way that you you know, you lift somebody up, or give them the thing that they need in their most trying time, ultimately that's going to be what is remembered. And if we can pass that to people, and we can relay that message, you know, through the our talks, I think that's going to be something that is extremely valuable. You know, like you said, like a Jocko Willink, you know, these guys that, you know, Eric Thomas, you know, these people, like I listen to these guys, and I anytime I'm, you know, a little bit off course, or feeling a little like, I'll pop on one of those, like just go type in Jocko Willink, good. Have you seen that video?
Yeah, man. It's
I mean,
2 or 3 minutes of everything you should need
you can't listen.
if you're down a little bit.
Yeah, you can't listen to that and feel sorry for yourself. You can't listen to that and feel like you shouldn't get your ass up and work. You know, so I think that's what we're capable of presenting and pushing forward. Just you know, through our stories, and through you know, the lives that we lead.
I think so too, man. I mean, to go back a little bit, one of those, you have moments in your life where you have people that either gave you a door or told you something that you'll always really stick with. You know, there might not even be more than 10 of them in your entire life, but the one for me, really, to come out here, I had mostly my doubts, and I was almost dead set that I wasn't going to do it. I was moving up well at New Paltz, and things were good. Steph and I were finally living together. We weren't in separate states. And I just was almost to the point where, nah, you know, I'm good here, and I can create here and do what I would like to do, and I would be rather comfortable. Well, my dad, I'm going to never forget my dad. I mean, he goes, you know, you will do whatever you want to do, but he said, just remember, if you can sleep on it, you'll never have to wake up thinking about it. You know, if that's truly what you want to do, make sure it'll never come into your head about what could have been. And that's when I said, well, if I don't do it, that's going to be in my head every single day. So that's no way to continue on, right? And secondly, to everything you were going into, and I'm guilty of this still. I have growing to do, but I could say it to everybody. There's no victims here. There's no victims in life.
Yeah.
Him and I can both tell you that. And him and I, for the most part, my life really hasn't ever been that terrible. I had a great family, great upbringing. I never had overcoming challenges like some people have. But I think no matter what, you have to get yourself in a mindset of I am not a victim. It's not supposed to be easy. No one ever wrote that down. It's not supposed to be rainbows, sunsets, and butterflies. We should get that, right? We just got to go. Especially, again, if you're in the world that we're striving to be in, there's certainly no victims.
Yeah, I mean that will kill so many dreams. That will kill so many, great individuals, aspirations so fast. Just that poor me. That, oh, why does this happen to me? Like that. There's just no room for it. Just like you said. I mean, you can't have that. You can't. You just and it, whether it starts with just identifying, oh, maybe I am a little bit like that. And I think we all are, right? Like it's
absolutely,
it's a very, very common feeling, like just like I was talking about today, like I was feeling sorry for myself because I wasn't able to do the training that I wanted to do. I wasn't able to, be where I wanted to be so I'm sitting there being a salty little baby. And it's like, well, dude, get the hell over it. Like there's still things to be done. I'm still lucky to be able to be mad about that. And so being able just to reframe it and go forward, I think, I think we can, really dive into some of those things and on how to do that and how to, like strategies and, mindset stuff. I think, there's countless things that we can, help people with and, combining to do that. I always say, or I don't always say, but I started to kind of see this more recently is you can go fast alone, but you're going to go further together. Right. So me, I could knock out podcasts by myself where I just talk about, some of this stuff, but I think ultimately I will run my course, right? I will run, to where it just kind of loses its luster and it's me kind of saying the same things or whatever over and over, where, if we can riff off each other, I think, we can really do something special, man.
I also think too, you're either going to be surrounded by people that are striving to make you better, or given my choice when I first got here, I mean, I walked in a room with what's considered to be some of the best trainers in the country, if not the world, at the level we're in. So now you walk into a room and you think, oh shit, I mean, do I belong here? I mean, how am I going to keep up? You're extremely uncomfortable because you're trying to level up. But if you take a moment, which I didn't do until I started to do it later, which really helped, but you take a moment and think, oh yeah, I want to be exactly right here, because now I can watch them. Not a lot of people get to watch them. And now my level, probably being the person that I am, is going to really rise. And that happened. It's okay to be the dumbest person in the room. It's okay to be the least skilled person in the room. It's okay to be all of that. That's exactly the room that you want to be in. It's just the thing is a lot of people actually don't feel comfortable in that room, so they won't ever try to open the door.
Yeah, I mean, that's some next level stuff. I think, is just being able to like you said it earlier too, is checking that ego, and really being able to set yourself aside and not worry about, I might look dumb, or I might ask a dumb question, or I might say something that makes me look, like I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know, like. But if you just settle into that comfort zone, nothing grows there. Nothing, nothing is gonna, nothing's gonna catch fire, right? Friction creates fire. We need that friction in our life. We need that grit, that toughness. And, like, the best thing that I found you can do is just ask questions, right? Like, ask as many questions as you possibly can. Um, and, you know, dang, like, we live in, some of the best times. I talk about this pretty consistently. Is we live in a time, like I've talked about my relationship with Coit Cooper, and that book it's Impressions. That's his first book. It's called Impressions. Um,
Amazing.
but I talked about, I didn't know him personally. I've only met him in person one time, but I reached out to him via social media, and he got back to me. We live in a time where you can literally follow people that are doing or living the life that you want to live, and you can follow in their footsteps, and you can ask them questions, and you can really, whatever it is, read their books, listen to their podcast. You get a great insight as long as you're following the right people and you're filling your time with the right content. There's a bunch of bullcrap on. You go on TikTok, you go on Instagram, you go on anything, and you follow a bunch of freaking, TikTok dancers, and they're doing a bunch of dumb shit. Well, why don't you go over to the stock market thing? Maybe you want to make, find some things. You started searching the right things. Okay, now you're actually using TikTok for something that's going to benefit you, or, Instagram or Twitter. You follow, the right coaches. You follow the right inspirational speakers, whatever it is. Like, just ultimately consume the right thing. So even if, a person doesn't, get the opportunity like you did to be in that room around people that, ultimately you're aspiring to be like, or aspiring to be better than, you can still surround your mindset, or surround the things that you're consuming with people that are doing it already, and that are, paving the way for you.
I think another one to add to that too is putting yourself out there no matter what. Humility is an amazing gift when you can get past the embarrassment of it, if you will. Put yourself in awkward situations, make yourself uncomfortable. I've read so many things on it. There's always phrases on it. Do one thing a day that makes you uncomfortable. Do as many things you can to make yourself uncomfortable, because eventually you're going to be comfortable. And then you're going to look to another thing to make you uncomfortable, and your level just keeps going up. And then how do you develop that experience? By doing those stupid, humiliating, embarrassing things, whatever you want to call them, but do them. That's it. That's it.
Dude, yeah, I love that. That's spot on. I think that's, yeah, if we can harness that, and we can do that, and it starts small, right? Like, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be the most embarrassing thing. It's just start small and build and build and build, like you said, and all of a sudden your level is jumping. And then all of a sudden those jumps get bigger. And it's crazy. But it's that consistency. It's that having the patience and work ethic to go 10 years before you get the opportunity, that you're looking for, that is gonna, lead you to your next break. People don't want to work for 10 years. That's the problem right now. Is people don't want to work for 10 years for something that, is going to change their life. They want that shit right now. But the reality of it is, it's not going to happen like that. Not for something that is really, really worth having.
No, 100%, man. I mean, and going back to the discomfort, an example here at Heart and Hustle, as a new trainer, you're doing a lot of the prep work. You'll warm up clients for the other trainers that are on the floor. And, those were very uncomfortable, sometimes humiliating moments where, you had to say hi, or you had to try to create a connection. There was awkward silence, but if you had a swagger, if you had some charisma and you were able to flow, you would get the hang of it. It's like being at a bar, saying hi to the opposite sex. We don't even do that anymore because you can swipe right or left. But I mean, go to a bar. You can't go now in most places, unfortunately, but go to a bar and just say hi to someone.
Yeah.
One of my rituals is in the morning, I'll take an ice cold shower. Really, in LA, I'm not going to lie, they're not that cold anymore, but it's, you turn it on at 4:30, 4:45 in the morning. You think, oh man, I don't really want to get in there, but you're going to get in there.
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable. And that's the little steps that, we're talking about, that all builds up the mountain.
I love it, man. I think just kind of spurring into this thing and really just kind of diving into this one, getting like our feet wet and getting an introduction. I'm more fired up now than when we talked on the phone yesterday and how we, been texting about, doing something together soon. Now, I'm fired up about this. I think, we can really dial some of these things in and really put together some great stuff for for anybody that wants to listen. It doesn't have to be wrestlers, it doesn't have to be anybody in sports, it doesn't have to be anybody in fitness. I think these lessons are they go into all aspects of life. They're things that you can take into your 9 to 5. You can take into your side hustle. You can take into your your relationships, your friendships, your marriage, whatever it might be. And really hit this thing hard, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with all of that. It can be anybody across the spectrum, and also keep in mind, I mean, we're just two guys chatting about things that we love to do. I mean, we're grinders and we love to work hard. We can't really sit still, and we got a hell of a lot of energy. Yeah. By no means are we, we're still learning ourselves. I mean, it's good to know that if you are listening, you're looking up to people like us while we're still looking up to certain people while they're looking up to another level of people, so we're all following up that line, and really we're all in this together. And, we'll be blessed to whoever listens, ask questions and wants to seek out more. But if you're in our lane, you're part of that family, that brotherhood, if you will. I think it is getting smaller and smaller, unfortunately, but I know there are still some out there, and that's why we found each other and we wanted to create something like this.
Hell yeah, man. I'm 100% in. Like, yeah, with this whole process is going to be, very open and honest. Like, I mean, I'm not, neither of us are the type of people to front or act like we are experts in anything that we're not, or anything. I'm very, I'm excited to be able to share that with people too. And it's just like, look, yeah, like you said, we're just two dudes that want to help people out and want to, use our experiences to push forward and to help elevate others to whatever they're trying to get to. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be awesome.
Likewise. I think it's going to be a great journey, and cheers to the start of it.
Yes, sir. Gary, why don't you tell everybody where they can follow you on social or whatever platforms you might be using, and then I'll do the same.
Sure. My personal Instagram is at Gary C. C as in cow, Gall, Eall. And then our Instagram here at the gym is at Heart and Hustle Gym. That's where you can find me. That's where you can reach out for any particular questions. And, that's where I'll be mostly day and night.
Nice. That's perfect. And then, yep, on my Instagram handle is at jno_knows, KNOWS. Same thing on Twitter, and my YouTube is Joshua Nolan Wrestling. That's where most of my content is. Again, you can shoot any questions or anything, any ideas that you want for videos maybe out of us. And really, we just please share as you listen. Bear with us as we work out technicalities and work out our schedule and everything like that. But it's gonna be a fun ride. I think we're gonna have a blast doing this, man.
I couldn't agree more, man. I'm looking forward to every second of it.
All right, brother. I will. We'll talk soon.
All right, my friend. Have a great one.
You too.